Are you looking to kick off your cloud architect career or build an amazing cloud computing career? Well, if so, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Michael Gibbs and I'm the founder and CEO of Go Cloud Architects, and we are an organization dedicated towards building high-performance cloud computing careers. I've been in technology for well over 25 years now, and I've been coaching and mentoring others for over 20 years in terms of either finding their first tech job or getting promoted in their tech career. And today we're going to talk about 3 very serious cloud architect career mistakes. And these cloud architect career mistakes are so serious they could cost you months or years of time in getting to your cloud architect career goals, or in some cases they may prevent you completely from reaching your cloud architect career goals. So we're going to talk about 3 of them, and we're going to probably save the most important one for last, so please stay tuned. The first one that we see, which affects 90% of the cloud architect community, is focusing on cloud engineer skills instead of cloud architect career skills. And there's a big difference between what a cloud architect does versus what a cloud engineer does in their job, and the training must be very different. So the first problem we're going to talk about is focusing on cloud engineer skills. And when I have new cloud architect students, I work very hard to keep them focused on being a cloud architect and not a cloud engineer. So what are these cloud engineer skills that so many cloud architects are training on? They're training on scripting. They're training on CloudFormation templates. They're training on Terraform. They're training programming, and they're spending excessive time learning the CLI or the management console. Why are we saying these are not things to learn? Look, these are very important things. And these are very important things to the cloud engineer or to SysOps roles. But a cloud architect is a design role. It is a customer-facing role. It is not a configure the systems role. And because of that, the Cloud Architect's Career Development Program needs to focus on both how and why things work, but also the other critical components of the cloud architect job. So what are these things that cloud architects should focus on instead to build a fantastic cloud architect career? First and foremost, the cloud architect needs to know the how and the why technology systems work. If you know how to configure them, that's fine, but you need to know how and why. How does the network work? How does the cloud work? How does server virtualization work? How do containers work? How do you design a network for 5 nines availability? How do you secure the network? How do you secure your applications? What types of storage would you use and why? See, these are cloud architect things as opposed to configuring them. Now, the next thing that I would say that's necessary is completely understanding how to deliver a great presentation. See, as a cloud architect, you're going to be delivering presentations every day. And cloud architect careers are built upon writing and presenting. Why? Because you're going to meet with a client, you're going to find out their needs and goals, and you're going to design a solution. And you're going to have to document that solution and then present that solution to the client, as well as internal stakeholders in your organization. So as a cloud architect, you're going to have to learn how to deliver a great presentation. They may, and in many cases will, ask you to deliver a presentation on your interview. So focus on this critical skill. I've been asked to present at all senior architect level positions in my career because they wanted to see how I could present. That was part of my interview process. The next thing to do is to learn how to be CXO relevant. And what we mean by CXO is the Chief Information Officer, the Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Financial Officer, the Chief Technology Officer, the Chief Operations Officer. Why? Because these people lead the organization. And these are the people that are involved in the technology selection, the selection of how the company will move forward, the organization strategy. And when you're going to meet with them, they're going to tell you their strategy, and their strategy is going to be involved in the cloud architect design. You're going to design it based upon their business needs, goals, legal, regulatory requirements, and such. And we'll talk much more about that later. But that's where you're going to be designing your things from. So you have to be able to be CXO relevant. Plus, you want the CXOs to understand why they need your design. And if you're presenting to the CXO the same way you'd present to a cloud engineer, the CXO will tune out of the meeting and not be interested. So you're going to have to learn to be CXO relevant. You're also going to have to learn to write well. Writing for readability, writing to make it simple, being able to document your things both visually and verbally when you write it down in a written document. And it has to be succinct, to the point, and it has to explain everything. So learn to document well. And the reality is, as a cloud architect, you're going to have a team behind you in a lot of cases, and you're going to have to learn how to lead that team. You might have 5 engineers that you're working with to help you design something or test something, do a proof of concept. You might have 15 engineers involved. I've led projects where I've had 20 plus engineers involved just doing testing and proof of concepts, and this is very common. So as a cloud architect, you're going to have to focus on your leadership skills. The next major cloud architect career mistake I see is ignoring industry relevance. And what do I mean by this? I see a lot of people that want to build a cloud architect career and think that getting 10x AWS certified is going to help them. It won't. So for example, you need to have certifications on your resume that show that you understand certain things. So for example, if you're going to be a cloud architect, you probably are going to need at a minimum level of an AWS Certified Solutions Architect Professional or a Google Professional Cloud Architect, some professional level certification in the cloud. But you're also going to need to be industry relevant. That means you're going to have to understand the operating systems that are out there. That means you're going to have to understand the virtualization solutions that are out there, the networking solutions that are out there, the security solutions that are out there. You're going to need to be industry relevant. And I wish it was true. I wish all you needed to do was become an AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional and take an AWS Advanced Networking course, and you'll be properly able to design a network on the cloud. Unfortunately, that's just not true. When we start doing some of these cloud certification courses like the AWS Advanced Networking, these are great courses. What do? They teach you basically how to do some of the solutions from networking on the cloud, and in a lot of cases how to configure them. Very important information, but they don't teach you networking, for example. There's no real discussion of BGP in these training programs. There's no discussion of IGPs such as OSPF. There's no discussion of route filtering and QoS on links. Why? Because it's not part of the curriculum, because this is heavy-duty network engineering on network architecture work. So you must be industry relevant. So basically get your key certification for the main thing that you want to do, and then get an industry certification. So if you want to be a cloud network architect, get a CCNP, a Cisco Certified Network Professional, and an AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional. Now you're going to have some deep, solid knowledge on networking and some deep, solid knowledge on the cloud. Or let's say you want to do the cloud security. Wonderful. Become an AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional and get a security certification such as the CEH or the CISSP, something big that's going to hold a lot of weight in the industry. This is going to make your resume stand out from the rest, because when you have enough security background to be hired alone on that, and you have enough cloud background enough to be hired alone on that, and you marry those two together, your career progression is unstoppable. So when you're building things, instead of getting multiple AWS certifications, get deep industry certifications with your cloud certifications, build yourself an unbelievably beautiful resume, and watch the magic happen. So this is important from a resume perspective, but it's not just a resume perspective. You need that depth and knowledge to be able to design solutions and design architectures that are going to be relevant for your customers and work. So this is very important as a cloud architect. In general, be solid, build your resume, and focus on industry knowledge and cloud knowledge. Combine those two and you will have a fantastic cloud computing career. The next thing I want to talk about are client interview skills. A cloud architect is a customer-facing role. See, when I was young and we talked about programming and system design, there was this saying that said, garbage in, garbage out. Well, you know what? The same thing applies to cloud architecture. As a cloud architect, the better your ability to ask questions of the client, the better questions you can ask, the better information you're going to receive. The better information you receive, the better your designs will be. So one of the most critical skills for a cloud architect are your client interview skills. And we see very few cloud architects actually focused on this at all. Instead, we see cloud architects focused on cloud engineer skills. And there's a big difference between a cloud architect versus cloud engineer. And if you're focusing on implementation, you do not have the time to focus on interviewing your clients. And this is one of the most critical things to do as a cloud architect. So what should you do? You should focus on how to interview a client. And I'm going to give you some tips. The first and foremost is listen more than you speak. Why? When you're talking, you're not getting information. You're speaking. So basically ask a question and listen, listen, listen. And if the customer is talking to you, listen, take notes, and pay close attention. The next thing that you need to do is be open-minded. If you are not open-minded, people are just not going to tell you things. And if they don't tell you things, again, you don't have access to good information. Also, you're going to have to be non-judgmental. Look, as a cloud architect, you're going to meet with clients. And when you meet with clients, you're going to see some design considerations that you've seen that you're going to look at and say, these are kind of funny. But guess what? There might be a reason they're kind of funny. Why might they be kind of funny? They may have had an application that required that. There might have been a legal or regulatory requirement that had that. There's lots of times reasons why organizations have done some of these funny things. Or they grew so fast that basically they were throwing capacity and didn't have the chance to build the perfect cloud architecture design or data center architecture design. And that's okay. They're calling you for help. So be completely open-minded, be completely non-judgmental, and you ask the questions. Now, there's also the question of what kind of questions to ask. And we basically put our questions in, say, 10 to 12 different categories, and we have a question list on each category because it's important to ask the right questions, and you're going to have a systematic, methodical way to ask the right questions, and they should be part of your cloud architecture training program. So, what are the types of questions? First and foremost, organizations buy technology because they've got a business challenge. So your first question should be, what are your business goals? The next question you should ask are, what are your business challenges? Could your technology solution solve some of their business challenges? You probably can, and if you can do that, the customer will want what you desire, and your architecture will solve a problem, and it will be chosen by the customer. Then you need to know the customer's legal and regulatory constraints. Maybe they've got a lawsuit in process and need to maintain some data for a significant period of time. What if the organization is regulated by, say, PCI DSS, meaning for the payment card industry, or in the US, we have HIPAA for healthcare. There's all kinds of legal and regulatory requirements that an organization has to face, and your architecture is going to have to fit into that and support those goals. You also want to know what the company's competitors are doing. Why? Because if you know what their competitors are doing, you can give your organization the strategic advantage. You can say, can you do something better than your competitors? Or is the customer losing out by not doing at least what their competitors are doing and going to find themselves at a competitive disadvantage? Now we start getting into the tech. We want to ask them, what does your current technology infrastructure look like? Maybe you need the same thing on the cloud, maybe you don't, but you're not going to know until you know the current technology infrastructure. And this is where you start getting into much deeper questions. You're going to ask questions on, what does your compute environment look like? What does your storage environment look like? What type of security policy you have? What type of security requirements do you have? And you're going to ask a lot more questions in security. The same thing about the applications. What are your applications? Are they custom designed? Did you purchase them? What are the application flows? What are your application requirements? You're going to need to know all about this. Then you're going to need to ask the customer about their remote access. I work with customers that have 20,000 to 100,000 remote access employees and 10 to 20,000 locations. You need to understand what that is, because that's going to have a massive impact on your cloud computing architecture. And then, of course, you need to know about their disaster recovery plans, recovery time objective, recovery point objectives, and how fast, and everything. All of this really matters. So these are the kind of things that you're going to need to ask. So don't make these cloud architect career mistakes. Build yourself the proper cloud architect career development program and watch your career progress. Let me tell you about some things that we're doing to assist the cloud architect community. On Mondays and Thursdays, we have our free How to Get Your First Cloud Architect Job program. And this is a free webinar. You come on the webinar and we tell you exactly what you need to do to get your first cloud architect job, things that should be on your resume, how you focus on your training, things to communicate with the world, how to not get stuck in HR when it comes to your resume and you have less experience. And we talk about everything you need to do to get your first cloud architect job. We do it on Monday and Thursday. It's completely free. I'll leave the link in the descriptions below. Every Tuesday, we have a Cloud Architect Experience webinar, and we talk about a couple of things on these webinars. Sometimes we do things about how do you get your Cloud Architect experience so you can get your Cloud Architect career started. But sometimes a lot of times we do live architecture challenges where we'll get on these calls and we'll give you the ability to interview a CIO of an organization, or at least a mock CIO, ask the right questions, and then design a cloud architecture live on these calls. Students love it. They have a lot of fun. They ask me to do it all the time. So we do this very frequently on Tuesdays, but every Tuesday we have a free Cloud Architect Experience webinar. I encourage you to register. It's free. I'll leave the link in the description below. Most Wednesdays we do a YouTube Live, and on these YouTube Lives you can ask us any Cloud Architect career questions you want, what to study, what to learn, and we'll do everything we can to give you guidance on these calls, and it is absolutely completely free. We are launching, so please be on the lookout in the next week or so, All of you will be invited to join our Slack channel. We are creating a collaboration platform exclusively for the Cloud Architect communities. We will have environments where recruiters will be there to basically be able to see your profiles and you can get hired. We will provide updates on things such as new videos, new blogs that we publish, information to help you assist you on your cloud computing career. You will be able to contact individuals throughout this environment, place live calls, and even start live video meetings all throughout our free collaboration platform, which is coming in the next week. We invite you to be part of it. If you're interested in this, please subscribe to the channel or join one of our lists by clicking on registering for one of the free webinars, and we'll send you an invite and you can be part of this Cloud Architect revolution that we're doing. Now, we are holding a free Cloud Architect Bootcamp. Well, we're going to call it an AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional Bootcamp. It's going to be live, and it's going to be on the week of June 15th to June 20th. We're going to do a 3-hour live stream each day, completely free, and we're going to cover the AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional Program. But we're going to do it from an architectural perspective of how things work as opposed to the cloud engineering perspective. Like I said, big difference in what a cloud architect does versus a cloud engineer. And we're going to make sure we talk about that from an architecture perspective. It's going to be completely free. Now, if you're working on the AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate, we have a free AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate ebook. I'll leave the link in the description below. And we have a completely free AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate Training Program. Again, I'll leave in the link in the description below. I want to thank you so much for watching this video and being part of your lives in the Cloud Architect career community. I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. Thank you so much.